Hello all, in the previous session we have learned that how you can think of utilizing or leveraging the various distribution plot, which is all about the distribution plot or a density plot and box plot and variant plot. So let's try to relate it with the real world. So as we are working on the Zomato data, so in context of distribution plot, let's say I need distribution of rating feature. So what I need is I can think of I can think of plotting the density plot of a rating. So while plotting the distribution of this, first and foremost, you have to import something. So I can say as import Ploty dot, let's go inside a submodule, which is my figure factory. Let's create its alias, let's say ff. Now, by using this ff, first and foremost, what you have to do is, you have to call something known as create underscore, if I'm not wrong, I think create underscore distribution plot. Let me cross check that. Okay. Create underscore distribution. Yeah, this is my create underscore distribution plot. Sounds good. Now over here we have to mention our rating feature. So the moment I press shift plus tab over there, look at this. In this histogram data, what is the data that I have to pass over here in order to make distribution of your histogram, or how you can think of smoothing your histogram in order to end up getting that distribution plot. So what I will do is I will say, okay, my feature is nothing but my df of rate. I will say these are all the rate values. Let me show that. If I say that df of rate, but one thing that you will notice is in rate we have some missing values. Look at this, nan. We have some nan. It means we have some missing data in this rate feature. So what I say is I can say, okay, while passing data to this distribution plot function, I can say as, okay, let's ignore all the missing values. I can say drop na. Drop na means, okay, drop all the na values. Na typically means not available. You can think of drop all the not available values. Sounds good. And the moment I will execute this line of code, let me show that. Now there is a type error which says, okay, this function is missing one position argument, which is my group labels. It means we have to mention our group labels as well. Let me show that. Okay, this is my group labels, and let's have an eye on the documentation what actually it receives. Look at this. This is my group labels parameters, and let me scroll to below. Look at this. Okay, we have an example as this. We have all the data. Now while mentioning the group label is this not example. Okay, sounds very weird. So here we have adding histogram data. We have two histogram data. The first is this and the second is this. Now we have to group data together. It means in this group labels we have to mention our data frame, because group labels is all about just to group data together. I can say, okay, let's mention df, and the moment I will execute this line of code, oops, there's an error which says, okay, key error as 0. Oh my bad. I have to enclose all the things in a list. So I can say, okay, let's enclose all the things in a list. Let me again execute this line of code. Now just in a couple of seconds you will end up getting a distribution plot. Look at this. This is how my distribution actually looks like. This is exactly my distribution, and this is what my histogram is all about. On y-axis we have a density. On y-axis we have a density. And this is nothing but in context of rating. We have all the ratings. These are all my ratings. So if I say that, okay, let's say what I need is, let's say I need between some intervals. So I can select this interval. Look at this. This is how my distribution looks like. If I will select this interval, you can reset the axis as well in order to end up getting the complete distribution. That's it. Similarly, if you need a box plot, there is a very crazy function in your Plotly express, which is my box function. If I say that, okay, my data frame is df, I will say my data frame is okay. Let me press tab again. Let me press that. This is my data frame. I will say the data frame is my df on which we are working. On y-axis, let's mention the rate feature you have, and let's return the box plot. Look at this. This is what my box plot is all about. The moment I hover my mouse, it is saying that this is my Q3, this is my median value, this is my Q1 value, and look at this. This is my minimum value. And as Plotly has implemented that, this is my lower fence, this is my upper fence, and this is my maximum value. This is all about the descriptive stats of the rate feature. You can also think as a 5-point summary, because we have median, Q1, Q3, maximum and minimum value. And that's what I need in my 5-point summary. Now let's think for a violent plot. Let's think for that. Again, let's first touch upon one more instance of box plot. So if I say that, okay, I need a box plot of rate feature, but on x-axis, let's say I will mention my online order. If I will mention the online order, and let me just execute this line of code and let's wait for the box plot. Look at this. This is the box plot for those restaurants which doesn't accept the online order. And this is for those who accept the online order. Look at this. Here we have a median as 3.8. Here we have median as 3.6. We have a 75th percentile value as 4. Here we have a 75th percentile value also 4. But my 25th percentile value is 3.5 and here my 25th percentile value is 3.3. That's a basic stats that you can come across while having an eye on this box plot. So now let's talk about what exactly is a violent plot. So if I need the violent plot, if I say as okay, this is a function, this is a violent plot function. This is what my data frame is all about. So if I say that okay, my data frame is nothing but my df on which we are running it on. And on x-axis, okay, let's cross check that. What I say is I can say okay, let's say on y-axis, if I'm not wrong, I think we have mentioned on y-axis, yeah, sounds good. On y-axis, let's mention a rate feature and let me just execute this line of code. Now look at this. This is what actually my violent plot is all about. Look at this. It returns our Q3, which is my third quartile, my first quartile, my median, and a lot of other things. What is the maximum value, what is the minimum value, and a lot of other things. So it means this violent plot typically holds the box plot as well as the distribution plot. And this is what my distribution is all about. Of course, it is symmetrical because in this side we have also distribution. So it returns the box plot values along with the distribution plot you have. So if you have to take care of a distribution plot and if you need the 5-point summary of your data as well, it's always good to go with the violent plot. Now, after visualizing this violent plot, one can easily say that, okay, this is what my distribution is all about. These are my 5-point summary of data and a lot of other things. So that's all about this session. Thank you. Have a nice day. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep practicing.